There we go. Oh, 2 minutes in. Okay. Well, at least I found it. At least I, at least I stopped that from happening. Oh, let me fix that too. Properties. Logitech headset. Okay. All right. Okay. Well, sorry about that, folks. I just realized that for like literally the first 2 minutes, 3 minutes, we you couldn't hear me. Anyway, hello. My name is Commissar Hecht, and welcome to uh, a special Commissar Hecht live journal. Um, or a special Commissar Hecht journal. Um, as you can see, uh, I was showing you guys that we are all packed up. Right? There's literally, besides that bookcase, there's literally nothing left of our stuff. We're living out of suitcases. We have obviously I've got my laptop. Um, I've got a router for internet, but that's it. And we're packed up because in the military, if you're not from the military, you have this thing called a PCS, a permanent change of station. And every so often, 4 to 5 years, if you're an officer, you PCS a little bit more than 4 to 5 years. I think it's 2 and 3, maybe four for officers. Um, you get assigned to a new base, and the Hecht household is going to Edwards Air Force Base, which is my first duty station back in 2009, 2010, a lifetime ago. Um, so, uh, as I was saying, um, so I was at Edwards, my first duty station, and then from 2010 from 2009 to 2010, then I moved to, I was PCSed to RAF Lakenheath, and that's where I met my wife and got married. And at Lakenheath, we met, or we found, these two beautiful domestic short-haired tuxedos, cats, you know, and we named them Chip and Oreo, and they've been with us ever since. They're 13 years old. They've been with us for 12 and a half years because we got them around 6 months. Well, about 6 months old. So they've been with us for 12 and a half years. Um, and uh, you know, it's been really frustrating. You know, so we got these cats at 12 and a half years. We had a third named Pumpkin, but she died in Altus. So we took these three British cats, moved them to Altus in Oklahoma, and we were at Lakenheath from 2000 and I was at Lakenheath from 2010 to 2015. I think my wife was there at the beginning of 10, I want to say, or maybe at the end of 9 to 15. Um, and then we moved to Altus, Oklahoma from 15 to 19. And then we moved from Masawa from 19 to now, and we're going back to Edwards. Again, my first duty station. And so that's kind of how the military works. UPCS. And the reason why UPCS is to prevent stagnation uh, in your military career, right? The more UPCS, the more experience you're susceptible of getting, the more breadth of experience you're susceptible of getting, and it just looks sexier on a promotion package. Um, because you can experience different mission sets and different mission requirements for any military branch, right? Your job might stay the same, but there are certain mission parameters within each unit that have to be satisfied and met. So that's why people PCS. Prevents from stagnation, prevents from a chain of command being not fluid enough, right? Not invigorated and fresh enough, right? And then it also helps you learn the job better because you're learning different mission sets. A fighter base is going to function differently than a heavy cargo aircraft base. A bomber base is going to function differently than a fighter base. Um, a research and development base is going to function slightly differently than any of the other bases. So um, that's kind of how things work. Training bases are going to function differently than any active, any operational Air Force base, right? So that's how that works, right? And you learn different skill sets. Some of the parameters are going to be the same. Hey, for my job, hey, you attend guard mount, you post out, you secure the assets, and then after your shift, you de-arm, go home. And then if you have any sort of law enforcement incidences, you report those up, and then you run criminal cases. Right? That's the gist of security forces in a nutshell. Um, but and though those parameters stay somewhat the same, every base is different. Every base is different. Every base that does things, handles things differently at the at the tactical level and anything else. So, excuse me. So that's what it is, and that brings me to this topic, right? PCSing. Hi, Bastet. Um, PCSing. I am so exhausted. I am so exhausted. I have spent, when I first found out in April we were going to Edwards, I called American Airlines and Japan Airlines and started the process of getting a pet slot for my cats. And the reason why I called so goddamn early is because I knew this was going to be a problem. I knew, I had a gut feeling that this was going to be an issue. And I thought by calling in April when I made the damn requests, right? When I made the damn requests for these for to get pet slots for my cats, I thought that getting it done early would have solved that problem, right? I would have ran into a few hurdles. It would have taken me maybe a month, maybe a month and a half, and I'd be good to go. This was back in April. It is now June 14th, 2050 hours Japan Standard Time. And my cats still don't have a slot. And I am supposed to leave 1000 hours on June 30th from Misawa to Haneda and Haneda to LAX. And I can't get a pet slot. No, I can't even get one. So, how did we end up here? I'll explain it. At first, I called Japan Airlines because Japan Airlines is the one that I'm going to be going through, right? I'm going to be leaving Japan. So I went to Misawa Airport. And Misawa Airport said, hey, the pet carrier that I got for my two cats, good to go. You just got to show up. Great. Great. And by the way, the pet carrier is that big one on the bottom. That one, that big one. Those two small ones we just bought today. I'll get to those later. And I had two of the big ones, right? Because those two big ones were the same pet carriers that we bought in England to ship our cats at the time, Oreo, Pumpkin, and Chip, from Heathrow, London Heathrow Airport, to Oklahoma, And from Oklahoma, or sorry, we landed in Baltimore, and then from Baltimore we went to Will Rogers, Oklahoma airport, right? And then we drove the 2.5 hours from Oklahoma City to Altus, and then we had when Pumpkin died, we didn't need the other one, but we had two of the same ones from Oklahoma City to Seattle, and then from Seattle to a military rotator, and we landed in Misawa Air Base. You you couldn't have screwed it up, right? Right? FAA approved that bottom kennel, the one that I pointed to, was FAA approved, right? All those years ago. So what happened? The first issues that I ran into was getting the pets um, from Misawa to uh, Haneda, and then I had to get my first journey looked like this: Misawa to Haneda. I had to hire a private shuttle to go from uh, Haneda to Narita because the authorized, or not the authorized, but the standard shuttle that Japan uses would not allow pets. And then from Narita, I would fly from Narita to um, Seattle to Dallas. That was the first leg of that. That right there was the first iteration. Then I ran into the first problem, which was the United States have something that's called hot hours or hot months. And then they have something also called cold months. And basically, what a hot month or a cold month is that it gets too damn hot for pets to be underneath the aircraft in the cargo area, in the pressurized cargo area. They would overheat and die. So, um, and it happens. It happens sometimes with pets, which is why you have to make sure that your pets are fit to fly. And you get a health check, right? The military forces you, not forces. It's a good thing, but it is a requirement for the military before you leave a military base. If you are flying, you have to get a health certificate saying that your pets are good to travel, right? And I've got an appointment for both my pets, right? Even though they're somewhat elderly gentlemen, they're 13 years old. Cats can live up to 20. Um, you know, they're getting on in age. So I want to make sure that they're good to go. So I make sure that they're good to go. So the United States have something called hot months and cold months, right? Right now we're in the middle of the hot month season where they really should not be flying, during the middle of the day. So I had to reschedule. I had to go through Sato again, right? Sato is the booking agency on base that does everything, right? I had to go through Sato again and book everything. Um, to basically so now the second iteration of my trip was Misawa to Haneda private shuttle to Narita, Seattle. That part was okay. And then I stayed in Seattle for 2 whole days. Fly at near midnight of Seattle to Chicago O'Hare, and then from Chicago O'Hare to Dallas Fort Worth. Now that put me a few days behind my wife because she's flying with the kids, to where we land in Dallas Fort Worth, pick up our cars because that's where we stored them when we left the United States. We had to store our cars in Dallas Fort Worth at the what's it called, non-temporary vehicle storage area. And so there's that, right? And then um, drive the 20 plus hours to Edwards. Simple as that, right? Easy. And I continue to make requests and inquiries about getting pet slots. This is where it gets absolutely frustrating, right? Because it is a co chaired or co mission with American Airlines and JAL. JAL is telling me you have to make the request via American Airlines because it is an American Airlines flight. American Airlines is saying you need to talk to JAL because it is a JAL flight. We can make the request for JAL, but ultimately they're the ones saying yay or nay. So the first issue that I'm running into is American Airlines is saying we have to make the request. I have to make the request through American Airlines to JAL. And JAL says yes or no. And they should contact you. They have not contacted me. I have made the request through American Airlines several fucking times. And every time I'm not getting contacted. And even though they can see the request being made, right? And they can tell me that JAL is saying no because of X, Y, and Z. They refuse to give me any sort of proof that this request was done. They refuse to email me anything about this. Anything. Absolutely anything. Because they're not set up to do it. Right? They're not set up to email people. It should be JAL. So when I talk to JAL, they tell me, well, sir, it's a American Airlines flight number. It's not a JAL number. You wouldn't have a problem if it was a JAL number. You need to contact American Airlines. So I'm going through that. Hurdle right now. The second hurdle just happened today. Right? I have called American Airlines and JAL literally 6 times. My plane tickets have changed 4 times. And every time I either call every time I call JAL or American Airlines, I get one, different people, because obviously it's a call center. It's going to happen. 2, those different people are telling me contradictory things. Some people are telling me somewhat similar things that make sense, and then I get other people telling me, no, you're good. You're okay. There should be no problems. Well, if there are no goddamn problems, why am I getting told by 17 other different people, no? I'm being told more no than the words yes have ever come through anyone's mouth. And that's what I'm running into. By the way, to add insult to injury about this whole nonsense, every time I call them, it's not a toll-free number. It's either a 1-800 number or a Japanese international number or a service number for the Japanese. So because I'm calling from a mobile phone, I'm getting charged through the nose. Or if I'm calling a 1-800 number, I'm getting charged through the nose at international direct dial rates. That's what I keep on hearing. And it's insane. And I've been on hold or waiting patiently for hours. I think within the past 12 weeks, I've spent roughly, well, let's do the math real quick. Let's do the math real quick. Let's see. That was 32 seconds, so that doesn't count. That was 44 minutes. That was an hour, so an hour and 44. 39 minutes, so 2 hours and 20. And I'm rounding down, obviously. 22 minutes, so 2 hours and 40 minutes. It was 15 minutes, so we're at 2 hours 55. 1 hour 35 minutes, so now we're at, what was it, 2 hours 30? 2 hours 55. Now we're at 4 hours 25 minutes. Uh, 4 hours and 5 hours and 7 minutes. Uh, 5 hours and 53 minutes for two separate calls. 6 hours and 58 minutes. Seven hours and 30 minutes. Yeah. 7 hours and 30 minutes within the past 2 weeks. Now you could say to me, well, hey, that's not a whole lot. 7 hours in 2 weeks? That shouldn't be that bad. No, it is. It absolutely is. It absolutely is. And a majority of those 7 hours and a majority of those 7 hours in 2 weeks, that's roughly 2 hours a day. 2 hours a day for 2 weeks. Actually, no, sorry. Not 2 hours a day for 2 weeks. That's 30 minutes a day for 2 weeks. Right? 7 days, 14 days. 30 minutes a day. Yeah, sorry, my math is off because I'm so exhausted and my brain is fried. It's 30 minutes a day for 7 days or for 2 weeks to make up 7 hours, right? I'm exhausted. I've literally burned every single fucking option. I'm supposed to leave June 30th. That I don't even know if that's happening now. I now on Monday have to go to my bosses with hat in hand and say I need an extension on my Deros. I need you guys to push back my departure date because I don't want to leave without my cats. And before anyone says anything about the rotator, the Air Force cut rotator slots. Instead of every week, now it's 2 times a month for Misawa. Right? Rotator is an official military, it's a chartered commercial aircraft that flies military people to specific places, right? That's how we flew into Misawa back in 2019. the military is trying to save money, so they're cutting a whole lot of flights. They're cutting a whole lot of contracting services to try and save money, right? But what's that doing at the micro level? Even though the military is trying to be, fiscally responsible, is it limits people to travel. It limits the service for people to PCS with. Because if I was flying rotator, those crates are squared away. Those crates are good, right? I'd fly into Seattle because that's where the rotator flies out of, right? I'd fly into Seattle. I'd hop on a plane to LAX, and I'm in Lake Flynn. I'm there. And then my family just flies to Dallas, Fort Worth, and drives my cars and all that stuff, right? I have done literally everything I possibly could to get these cats back to the States. There are a bunch of people that do pet shipping services and all that stuff, but those cost an arm and a leg. The cheapest one that I've seen is $8,000 per pet. It's insane. They make a killing. So yeah, it's like saying, "Oh, well, why don't you use the pet services?" Bro, that's like buying a goddamn car. Off rip. One payment, $8,000 per pet. Right? Now some pet shipping services are a little bit easier on the wallet depending on the size of the pet or how many pets you have or if the pet's like a manageable breed, all that stuff, yada yada. But it's still expensive. It's still, I'm still looking at, a couple $1,000s per cat, and it's not a guarantee that they're going to arrive any faster than if we were to take them. And it's cheaper to take them. And plus, as I've said, they're older cats. You don't want to put them through a whole lot of stress. They're family. That'd be like, hey, you can take your precious family member and leave them with a fucking stranger you don't know for 2.5 months, and maybe they'll get to you. You know. Oh, by the way, you got to pay us up front. You got to pay us before the service is rendered. Outrageous. Sorry, my wife is just sending me some photos real quick. U.S. State Department. Sorry, I'm just looking at all this information my wife is sending me. She's still awake. But I don't. I think this is stateside. Anyway, as I was saying, I'm just exhausted. It's so frustrating. So literally today, I made some Facebook posts on it on both my Commissar Hecht stuff and all that stuff. So you can get a little bit more information and more in depth about it. But literally today, the I'm told that the kennels, the kennel that I had is not sufficient. So my wife went out and bought new kennels, the two brown ones that you see on top of the older one. And that apparently is not sufficient enough. And JL gave us the dimensions for whatever the hell kennel that they're giving us, but nothing like that exists as far as we know. And it's not like you can get close to it and it counts. The Japanese are fairly explicit. When they give you certain dimensions, you have to have those certain dimensions. You can't cheat and be an inch off or whatever the case is. That's not how that works. It's so frustrating. It's just so aggravating. And the fact that American Airlines and JAL refuse to take authority over this. JAL says you must make contact with American Airlines and coordinate through them. When we do coordinate through them, through American Airlines, they turn around and say, oh, JAL says no, you have to contact them and tell them your situation. I can't. And then when I do contact JAL says you need to contact American Airlines. We're not gonna move on our end. You have to go through American Airlines. And I can't. And no one will tell me, no one will give me the email, no one will give me the reasons, no one will give me any sort of proof, any sort of bona fides saying this is what's going on, this is what we're going with, and yes, he's been calling us several times. And it's getting to the point where I have to stay here longer. I don't want to. I want to leave with my family. I want to be able to start, as much as I am not necessarily looking forward to being stationed at Edwards again, because I didn't enjoy it as an airman. I just didn't. I had some good people and good friends, but overall I just didn't enjoy it. I hope this go around. I fervently hope that this go around is better. I really do. But it's just nothing. It's it's just impossible. Impossible. Anyway, so this is what we've been dealing with. And it's just, and my wife is literally just sending me stuff saying that, oh no, this is the crate that JL is. And you know what? Spoiler alert, it's the same fucking crate we've had for literally 10, 12 plus, 12 and a half plus years for our cats. I don't understand it. I don't understand it. And before anyone says, well, why don't you just show up to the airport and, the die is cast. If I do that, I'm not going to be able to board my flight with my cats. I'm just not. And that's the problem we're running into. And someone had suggested that why don't you fly with the pets in the cabin, in the actual cabin of the aircraft. JL, I'm assuming they're doing this because of allergy concerns. JL does not allow live animals in the cabin of an aircraft. They have to fly in the cargo space. So there's that too. So here we are. To sum everything up, JL is telling us you have to contact American Airlines. American Airlines is telling us JL keeps saying no to you. You have to contact JL. And then on top of that, I've got different individuals every time they pick up the damn phone. Occasionally they tell me contradictory information, and everything else. Everything else. And no one wants to take responsibility. No one wants to take authority. No one wants to help a brother out. No one wants to fucking give a shit about my pets. Right? And all because I have to move. It's not by choice. The military is making me move. It's not like I can say, yeah, no, I don't want to take those. I don't want to go to Edwards. No, you're going to Edwards, guy. Okay? Because here's the thing. If you turn down orders in the military, if you turn down orders, you're basically saying, I don't want to be in the military anymore. And you'll get coded. You'll get hit with, you can't re-enlist. Chances are you'll get a shittier assignment. And you can't promote because you've elected to separate at that point. Basically, you'll finish out the rest of your contract. And while I'm an indefinite contract, if I was to say no, they'd be like, okay, well, in 2 years' time, you're terminate. You're 2 years' time or 3 years' time, however long a traditional contract is, they'll terminate you. And say, oh, good luck. Thank you for your service. So literally 15 years down the fucking drain. Right? And it's so frustrating. It's so frustrating. It's so goddamn angry. It's so goddamn aggravated. And I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. Asides extend and continue to fight this battle. But I also have, for those of you that aren't in the military, when you get assigned to a base, you have what's called a report no later than date. That means your boots and your ass need to be on that base by that date, checking in, saying, I am here to report in for duty. My report no later than date is August 15th. Now, it can be bumped, it can be changed, but those require extraordinary circumstances, and getting a pet slot may not fit that bill. Hell, I'm not even guaranteed to have my extension be honored by AFPC because I submitted in through my commander. My commander signs it, and then it goes up to AFPC, and then AFPC says, "Yep, yes, you have a valid reason to extend," or "No, you do not have a valid reason to extend. You're leaving." And in which case, I'm out of luck at that point. I don't have pets anymore. And if that's the case, I'm never going to get a pet ever again. Because I failed. I failed. I failed at that point. Now, my leadership is an awesome, awesome leadership. I'm pretty sure that they will sign my paperwork, and I'm pretty sure that they will reach out to somebody and say, hey, this is what's happening. And it's not just me. There are a ton of people right now in Misawa that are PCSing, because the Air Force has seasons, right? You have peak PCS season. The first peak PCS season is in the summer. The second Evening. Sorry. Yeah, hello, hello.
And I'm sure
Um,
you'd get a pet again. I don't think you could ever do without one.
uh, it's
I,
if
give it a year, and then you'd be like, I
no,
really
no,
want a cat around the house.
because if I have to leave these cats, if I have to abandon these cats, I'm not going to get another pet. I'm just not because I cannot, in good conscience, get another pet and run through the same issue that I've been running through, uh, that I'm running through right now.
Aren't you heading back to the States?
Yes, I am heading back to the States. So glad you asked that question. The problem is that JAL and American Airlines can't pull their head out of their asses and come to a consensus.
Uh, but they don't want to move your cats.
No, 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 no. See, they don't. As I've said
Hmm.
before, JAL says it's an American Airlines flight because it has an American Airlines number. However, because it has a Japanese airline crew, it is technically owned by JAL because they're part of the One World Alliance nonsense fucking conglomeration that screws everybody over at every turn for less leg space and, shitty TV dinners. Um, Sorry, a little bit of a traveler's gripe.
Is that a traveler's grudge for being overly cautious?
No,
Is
no, because here's the thing. The again, the crates that I have were FAA approved.
okay.
Uh, Tokyo is not. So the hot hours is in the United States. The hot months are in the United States. Japan, you could fly with a pet and nobody domestically, and no one gives a shit, right?
Yeah. Okay.
Um, but in the United States, there's extra stipulations. Why are there extra stipulations? Because in the past, pets have died and people have sued the airline. So the airline, in order to prevent a lawsuit from happening, protects themselves. Um, some pet deaths can't were unavoidable, right? Hey, the plane overheated, blah blah blah. Your pet died of a heat stroke, right? That's tragic. It's unavoidable, right?
Yeah.
Some of it was aircraft mishandling, and then others was that the pet owner was stupid, right? Oh, I'm gonna take my 18-year-old dog on this plane. It'll be fine, bro. No,
Yeah.
it won't.
Right.
Yeah. Exactly. So my
How
cats
old are
are
your cats? How old's
13.
your cat?
Two,
Okay.
both my cats are 13, middle aged, right? They an oldest a cat ever lives is 21 years old, right? So
My cat lived to 22.
yeah, but it's I mean the point is still right. They
Yeah.
you know they have passed mid age at this point.
Right.
Um, but yeah, no, I'm Jay.
You're still quite emotionally tied to your cats. Yeah.
Yes. They have
No,
been.
it has had not to be because even if I moved to a different neighborhood, I would because I've got two cats. One's a 9-year-old boy and one's a 1-year-old girl. So we've got the 1-year-old girl. But even so, um, I can still consider them members of the family. I know exactly what you're saying.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Oh, sorry, love. Uh, anyway, so
What
that's
is going on with your channel? Holy crap! I'm coming up with.
wait.
Was
What's
that your son or something?
no. That was my wife. She just had
What?
she just has a close crop haircut.
Oh, I see.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
yeah, yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, no, it's all right. It's okay. I don't post pictures of her, so that you wouldn't have never known. Um.
Oh, good.
Uh. So yeah. So that's what we're facing with. Um.
Yeah.
And the Mrs. Commissar was on the phone today giving them what for? She gave them a verbal lashing, called them all liars.
I believe that.
um, Mainly because they kept telling us the same thing. You need to contact JAL. You need to contact American Airlines. Um, oh, we told we. Oh, and then here's the crux of the biscuit. Apparently, JAL changed their dimensions for their carrier 2 days ago. By the way, that day, the 12th, I was on the phone with JAL and American Airlines, and none of those representatives you know, decided to tell me,
Mentioned anything.
yeah, mentioned
All right.
anything.
Yeah, but on top of that, wouldn't there be a grace period where they would have to phase it in?
You would fucking think so, but apparently
Well,
not.
that's standard project management. You can't just. Okay. All right. I can understand why you're frustrated then.
Like I said, I've been dealing this for about 2 solid weeks now,
Right.
and I've had a total of 7 hours on the phone. That is 30 minutes a day
Uh,
for 2 weeks straight.
but the thing is, that's that's basically a whole working day of your life that you'll never get back.
Never get back.
Yeah. For this and for the sake of your beloved cats.
Yeah, yeah,
Oh.
yeah. At this point, performing a virginal sacrifice to a dark god seems easier.
Yeah, probably. Uh, Bit of an extreme example, but yeah, I get your point. Uh, oh, dude, I wish you could have joined us for Helldivers tonight. That might have
I
taken a
I'm
bit of edge off your situation.
Yeah, I'm sorry guys. I just with the
No, don't
move.
be sorry. Don't be sorry. Don't be sorry. It's fine. Yeah, I mean, look, we've all got our own situations, buddy.
Yeah, I
But
know.
yeah, I mean, look, the offer's there. Look, if you need like to have a gaming night to, Friday night, Saturday night, and then yeah, I do a solo thing on Sunday. So
Yeah.
yeah, if you need something on a Friday night, buddy, just for the next couple of weeks while you're dealing with some stressful shit, honestly, you're
Well,
welcome.
well, to add insult to injury is that it looks like I'm gonna, you know, if by Monday I don't get an answer, it looks like I'm gonna
Mm.
stay here an extra month. And then my
What, to look
wife,
after your cats?
yeah, yeah. And
Odd.
then and then
Okay.
and then my wife has to handle everything in California by myself.
Mm.
Oh, sorry, by herself, sorry. And it's just
Yeah, I gather what you meant. Yeah, it's all good. Yeah. I
and
didn't. I didn't want to. I didn't want to, under the situation,
no,
correct
no,
you.
no, no,
So,
no, no, no. She corrected me. And
yeah.
it's just I know I've been bitching for now about an hour, but there's like at this point I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. And I
Mm.
try, and as concise as I try as to try and sum up this problem, more stuff just keeps arising. My poor wife just sank $70 into pet carriers. See, there's the gray and black one that's technically regulation, and then there's these two brown ones on top that they say should fit the new dimensions, but they barely
Mm.
even fit the cats. The cats are bigger than the brown ones. Their
Right.
noses are going to be poking out the side of the siding and the door.
Well, the only way that's ever going to work is if they're lying down the whole time. They can't even walk around them.
Yep. Yeah, it's just nonsense. And at this point, I might as well just get a nesting doll of kennels and show up to Haneda and say, "Pick one."
Or, or alternately, you say, "I'm shipping a dog," and then get a dog carrier, and yeah, yeah. Oh, that's a. Mm. What? What the fuck?
Yeah, I
Why
know.
would they change such regulations? That's just stupid.
But here's the
Like,
thing: is that my wife just told me that she checked online and that there's messages on my phones. And you know what the first picture of a proper carrier is? It's the same damn one I'm staring at right now. Sorry, sorry, sorry,
yeah,
sorry.
right. The one on the bottom, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, the one on the bottom.
Mm.
If it's not alcohol, I like it.
Did your wife just hand you that?
Yes, she did. Sorry,
She's a darling.
she is a darling. She is a darling.
Uh,
Uh, anyway, that's it for this
Dude,
commissar's.
you're a lucky dude. Like, honestly.
But yeah, so that's it for this commissar's update.
Uh,
I wanted to let everybody know kind of what's going on with the channel and what's going on in my real life because this stuff I don't know what to do anymore. I just don't. I I've exhausted all my options.
can I ask you a question?
Yeah, go ahead.
If worse came to worse and you did have to leave them in Japan, is there a good family you could leave them to?
Oh, I'm sure that there's a good family that we could leave them to, but we don't
Yeah.
want to leave them. That's the biggest issue.
I understand that, but what I'm saying is if worse came to worse and you had to, um, understandably, like because you got your daughters, you don't have any boys, do you?
No, no, no. I don't have any
Yeah,
boys.
yeah. So you got your daughters and your wife. Get them back to the States, uh, which is home for you guys. And yeah, if you had to put your cats somewhere that was safe and they'd be looked after, you'd be able to find somewhere. Yeah,
Maybe, maybe.
yeah, maybe, maybe.
But
I'm not trying to suggest that that's a desirable solution
no,
because you'd
it's
love to
not.
take them with you.
It's not. It's not a desirable solution. And like I said, I would if that if
Yeah.
that if that happened, I would not live with myself and I would not get a pet ever again until I got out of the military.
Okay.
Like because I promised myself, both Caitlin and I promised to each other that we would not abandon a pet.
hmm
And
hmm
um yeah, that would be the last straw.
Oh no. Don't get me wrong. What I'm saying in terms of um, finding them a good place to live locally wouldn't be abandoning them. You're looking after their best interests as well.
It's
So it's not abandonment.
I understand that you're saying it's not abandonment, but
You're in the point of view that you have to separate from them.
yeah,
Yeah. No, I understand that. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Like right now, life is life is never a zero sum game.
No.
Um, however, in this case, it is a zero sum game. Um, so
These are the things that make up your soul, basically.
yeah,
Like
yeah,
your pets do. Yeah, they really do.
yeah.
Yeah, I know what you're
Anyway,
saying.
um, I wanted to give everybody a an update and let everybody know that this is what's going on. Videos will be sporadic at best. Um, primarily because I don't have the energy to stream while I'm fighting this. And then, uh, what else was I going to say? Um, if I do stream, it won't be painting sessions. It'll be video games. It'll be like Total War. Maybe get on some Dark Tide or
Yeah,
Helldivers. Um,
dude, I'll join you for that. I will join you for that.
and then
Just let me know.
when I do end up getting to California, um, uh, streaming will be sporadic at best because we got to get internet set up and everything, and I might be radio silent for about a month after I touch down. That's if I leave when I'm supposed to. Um, Man, you can hear him in the background calling out. But yeah, so thank you very much, guys. Thank you all for joining. I don't have my second monitor, so I can't monitor all the chats uh, as I'm playing games. So do bear with me if you try and talk to me as I'm playing games. I don't have my second monitor. I just have this computer. I have a second laptop, but that's kind of for the girls to watch TV on because yeah, I did. I did. Yeah, upstairs. Yeah. Yeah. It's the older one, so it's gonna sound like the rocket ship, but you know. Um, yes, that was the older one. Um, but yeah. Anyway, I'll talk to you guys later. I'll see you guys in the next episode, whenever that's gonna be. Love you all. Commissar Hecht out.